It's May 26th, 2020, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxel. There are renovations going on this week at Newsbreak Manor. Here we grow again. So pardon any background noise you may hear. And those definitely are not screams. President Donald Trump is no longer taking a controversial and unproven coronavirus remedy. Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard talked exclusively with the White House doctor who prescribed it.
Hydroxychloroquine is a real tongue twister of a drug. It's used to treat malaria and lupus. Until recently, the president was taking it to prevent the coronavirus.
I believe in it enough that I took a program because I had two people in the White House that tested positive. I figured maybe it's a good thing to take a program.
However, the FDA says hydroxychloroquine is not safe and effective. I wanted to find out why the president was taking what amounts to an unproven cure. On the phone with me is the doctor who prescribed hydroxychloroquine to the president.
Hi, everybody.
Dr. Nick Riviera, I understand you are a senior medical advisor at the White House.
I pretend I work there.
That is troubling. Also troubling, Dr. Riviera, are the results of a recent study that found hydroxychloroquine does not help coronavirus patients. It could even hurt them.
Uh-oh, this is going to be a bumpy ride.
Dr. Riviera, what are you trying to prove by having the president take an unproven cure?
Bonus eruptus is a terrible disorder where the skeleton tries to leap out the mouth and escape the body.
I've never heard of that. I'd like to switch gears for a moment, Dr. Riviera. I'd like you to listen to this interview with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She talks about her concerns with the president taking hydroxychloroquine.
I would rather he not be taking something that has not been approved by the scientists, especially in his age group and in his, shall we say, weight group, what is morbidly obese, they say.
Heart problems can happen with the overweight and the obese. Now, I don't know if the president qualifies as overweight or obese, but Dr. Riviera, certainly you have recommended healthy habits to him.
I recommend a slow, steady gorging process combined with acyl horizontology. You'll want to focus on the neglected food groups, such as the whipped group, the congealed group, and the chocotastic. Instead of making sandwiches with bread, use Pop-Tarts. Instead of chewing gum, chew bacon.
That just sounds like malpractice. Dr. Riviera, what do you get out of giving such questionable medical advice to the president? Certainly you took the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm.
The most rewarding part was when he gave me my money.
I guess you can't argue with honesty. Senior White House medical advisor Dr. Nick Riviera, thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
It does appear the president is taking some of Dr. Riviera's advice. You may remember when the president served fast food at the White House, not just once, but twice. And until recently, you could actually buy chocolate bars from the Trump store for $10. Just in case you want to work on that chocotastic food group. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Tim Millard.
Thank you, Tim Millard, for that delicious chocolatey report. Hey, everybody, we have a new presidential candidate. Jo Jorgensen won the Libertarian presidential nomination after a day-long virtual meeting Saturday. Jorgensen is a senior lecturer in psychology at Clemson University who believes government spending has gotten out of control. And she's currently the only presidential candidate who's never been accused of sexual harassment. This past Saturday, an estimated 2,000 people marched on California's Capitol in Sacramento in what was called Liberty Fest. The group was there to protest Governor Gavin Newsom's stay-at-home directive, ordered because of COVID-19 concerns. Those who support Governor Newsom's stay-at-home order stayed at home. 2020 brought us yet another unpleasant surprise. Disgraced Today Show anchor Matt Lauer went after journalist Ronan Farrow and accused him of lying. Farrow's coverage of sexual harassment in the media led to the Me Too movement and cost Lauer his multi-million-dollar job. In an op-ed, Lauer accused Farrow of lying about him. In a similar editorial, Thanos accused the Avengers of being a bunch of moral hypocrites. Some people are very eager to get back to life as usual. Thousands of people crowded the Lake of the Ozarks resort in Missouri. The lone sign asking people to follow social distancing apparently didn't do the trick. Upon learning that Ozark residents would display such complete disregard of their own health and the health of others, many people, like myself, were not one bit surprised. In world news this week, the top aide to Britain's Prime Minister says he didn't break his country's coronavirus lockdown rules. Dominic Cummings had symptoms of the disease, but still traveled to his parents' home. Cummings says the rules don't cover, in his words, all circumstances, especially the ones I found myself in. Those circumstances include breaking the rules and then getting caught after you break the rules. An alligator at the Moscow Zoo, rumored to have once belonged to Adolf Hitler, died this past weekend. The loss hit zoo officials hard because it's only been 2 months since they had to deal with the death of Stalin's iguana. Hitler's alligator? Seriously? I mean, come on, it can't even goose step. It's one of... As sports leagues around the world start making plans to return to action, Newsbreak correspondent Maria Liatis takes a look at a sport that has gained in popularity during the pandemic lockdown. Aww. Thank you, Maria, for that in-depth report. 2 stylists at a Great Clips in southwest Missouri may have exposed as many as 140 people to the coronavirus. Both stylists tested positive for the disease. Getting the coronavirus is bad enough. Getting your haircut at Great Clips is even worse. Aunt Becky may be going to prison. Lori Loughlin and her husband pleaded guilty to paying bribes to get their daughters into college. Loughlin's plea deal calls for her to spend 2 months in prison. Now, a federal judge has yet to say if he'll accept the deal. Loughlin's attorneys are pleading for the judge to...
Have mercy.
On Sunday, singer Lana Del Ray dropped a new spoken word song. She picked it back up later. You know what? I'm just going to apologize for that. And for the John Stamos thing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Attention Kmart shoppers, don't buy Kmart chocolate. The store issued a recall alert this past Friday over concerns of plastic contamination in their chocolate. But I feel like if you're still shopping at Kmart, you have bigger problems to worry about. Sticking with retail news, this may be the final nail in the wicker casket. Furniture store Pier 1 Imports filed for bankruptcy and will be closing all of their locations. Sales are down because of the coronavirus. Suburban moms everywhere are now wondering how they'll decorate their sunrooms. Hertz also filed for bankruptcy this week. With over $25 billion in assets, it's one of the 25 biggest corporate bankruptcies in U.S. history. Hertz is blaming the pandemic and lack of rental customers for their woes, but they have been making terrible decisions for decades. It was reported this week that NASA scientists conducting experiments in Antarctica found evidence of a parallel universe where time runs in reverse. That's what was reported. As usual, the facts are something completely different. NASA scientists in the Antarctic, that part's true, are conducting experiments where they detect high-energy particles, known as neutrinos, which constantly bombard the planet. Going back 2 years, there have been a handful of abnormal occurrences. Instead of the high-energy neutrinos streaming in from space, they seem to have come from a strange angle through the Earth's interior. And these are the findings which cannot be explained by our current understanding of physics. A parallel universe which runs in reverse is only one of many theories. But what if that theory is factual? What if there is another universe running in reverse? A younger Brian Troxell. Can you hear me backwards, Brian? Change places with me, just for a day. Let me feel my youth again. Please, backwards, Brian, just one day. That's all I ask. One day, please. And that's all for this week's Sketchworks Newsbreak. Or is it just the beginning? We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm the more experienced Brian Troxel. Say hi to your parallel mom for me.
I used to run through airports. Now I fly through them. With new Hertz #1 Express service, I fly non-stop from my plane to my car without stopping at the counter. If you ask for #1 Express when you make your reservation, your Ford or other fine car and contract will be waiting at the #1 Express booth. Once again, Hertz puts you in the driver's seat faster than anybody else.